How's it going? My name's Mark. I'm going to show you how to put a deck handle into a stand-up surfboard with these materials right here. So first of all, you're going to need your stand-up board, and you're going to need some sawhorses underneath to support it. You need a roto zip tool, router tool. It's the handy way to do it. Screwdriver. You're going to need some epoxy paste. I like the slow set epoxy. It's easier to work with than the fast set, although you can use the fast set, but I would recommend the slow. A couple Sharpies, a silver and a black. Multi-tool with a sharp blade. These are super handy. In fact, you can do the whole thing with just this right here. A mixing stick. These are chopsticks for mixing the epoxy. And then you'll also need a piece of cardboard to mix the epoxy. And then obviously your deck handle. This is an FCS deck handle. And tape measure. And some sunscreen. My bald head. And you might want to have some safety glasses handy too, because you're going to be routering out. You don't want to get that stuff in your face. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get all this stuff off your board. Put it on the ground. And what we want to do is we want to find the weight center of the board. We don't want to find the exact middle of the board. You want to find out where the weight center is, because you've got fins on the back and they make the weight center of the board different. It makes it further back because you have leverage and so forth. So what we want to do is we want to position the board on the sawhorses just so it teeter-totters. And you can leave your leash on, because that's going to be on your foot on your board too when you're carrying it. So when you carry it, you want it to be perfectly in the center. So we're pretty close here. So we move that, and now we're a little too far back. And then we move it up. And that's pretty good. So that's probably your weight center of the board is going to be right here. So what you want to do, take one of your Sharpies. You got a black deck pad, you want to use a silver Sharpie. You got a white deck pad, you want to use a black Sharpie. So we're just going to go look down the board. We want to make sure that the sawhorses are perpendicular to the angle of the surfboard. So everything looks pretty good. It's teeter-tottering. So our weight center is going to be right in the middle of this. So we go in, we put a dot right there. Check. Maybe a hair this way. Okay, that's the center of our board. I'm just going to double check with the tape measure, because I want to be absolutely sure that, I don't know. So the board is 113 inches long, this particular board, and we're right about at 53 and a quarter. So 113, 53 and a quarter. Yeah, so we're a couple inches back. So now you get your deck handle, you got your deck handle, and then we're done with that, so we can move this back in the center so it's stable. Now, the other thing is you don't want this going right down the middle of your stringer, because you don't want to cut into your stringer. So this is going to be offset from the center of the board. And this particular deck pad comes in 4 pieces. But if you don't have one of those, what you're going to want to do is measure the length of the board. And this one's just about 29 and a half. So 14. Helicopter plus. So measure the width of your board and then go find the center, and then you want this offset from the center. Okay, so now we've got the center point. This is our weight center of the board. What we're going to do is we're going to place our deck handle over it, off the center, off the stringer. We don't want this hitting the stringer. And we put it right in the middle. And then we get our Sharpie, and we're going to trace the bottom of the deck handle. And you also want to make sure the deck handle is, runs along parallel to the stringer. So just check that as you go. Okay, so we're gonna outline the bottom of this deck handle like so. Okay, now I'm gonna camera.